Have you ever looked at your busy life and realized that in order to take your next big step forward, you actually needed to take one intentional step back? In a world that constantly tells us to keep pushing, keep producing, and keep running, choosing to stop, even for a moment, feels almost rebellious. Hello, and welcome back to the Marvellous-U Podcast. I have missed these conversations. If you are returning to the show after our fourth season, thank you so much for waiting for me. And if you're brand new to this space, I'm so incredibly glad you found us. Welcome to Season 2. I am your host, Grace. You might have noticed a quiet period between our seasons. Today, I want to share the truth about that pause. It wasn't an accident. After Season 1 came to a close, I intentionally took that step back. Not because I was giving up. Not because I had run out of things to say. But because sometimes we need space. Space to breathe. Space to reflect. Space to listen to ourselves again. So my pause was a conscious planned decision to step back, to complete a major professional milestone, and to deeply reflect on how I can best serve you as we enter the next chapter of our lives. And I think that's something many women understand. Because sometimes we are so used to being needed. We're used to being the strong one, the helper, the problem solver, the caregiver, the one who remembers everything and carries everything and keeps everything moving. And somewhere along the way, many of us become so busy taking care of everyone else that we slowly lose sight of ourselves. So in this episode, I'm sharing what that intentional pause taught me about self-trust, what I learned while completing my counseling studies, and how we are going to use these exact tools to help you reclaim your identity, your confidence, and your spark in Season 2. As a practitioner working in mental health and training to be a counselor, I spend my days holding space for others. I listen to transitions, to grief, to the heavy burdens of midlife, and to the quiet struggles of women trying to find themselves again. It's a profound privilege. But as I wrapped up Season 1, I had to ask myself, am I giving myself the same grace and space that I advocate for others? I had two very clear intentional reasons for hitting pause after our fourth season finale. First, I was completing my counseling course. To show up fully for my clients, my studies, and my family, I know I couldn't split my focus. I needed to pour my energy into finishing that training so that I could return to this microphone with even deeper frameworks, better therapeutic tools, and a more robust foundation to support you. Second, I wanted to plan Season 2 with absolute intention. I didn't want to just churn out episodes on a treadmill. I wanted to sit with your feedback, reflect on what resonated most with you, and design a season that acts as a real practical roadmap for women over 40 and 50s who are ready to rebuild their self-esteem. Choosing to pause wasn't easy. The inner critic whispers, if you stop, you will lose momentum. But as a counselor in training, I know better. I knew that a pause is not a full stop. It's the soil where growth actually happens. What I realized during these months of study and reflections is that so many women in our demographic, in our 40s and 50s and beyond, are terrified of pausing. We are so used to being the emotional anchor for everyone else. We manage households, support grown children, care for aging parents, run businesses, and keep the peace. We wear our busyness like a shield. Because if we pause, the quiet might feel too loud. We worry that if we stop doing, we will stop being valued. But during my pause, as I studied human psychology and sat with my own reflections, I realized something beautiful. You do not lose your value when you step out of the rush. You actually reclaim it. When we don't allow ourselves space to reflect, we drift. We slowly lose touch with what we love, what we want, and who we are underneath all our roles. My counseling training reminded me that self-care is not just about escaping our lives for an hour. It's about building a life we don't constantly need to escape from. And that starts with having the courage to pause, look at where we are and say, I'm allowed to take up space. My growth matters too. This is why I'm so thrilled to welcome you to season 2 of the Marvellous-U Podcast. This season, we are diving deep into the midlife reclamation. With my counseling toolkit fully unlocked, we are going to explore the raw, honest topics that shape our well-being. In our very next episode, we are going to look closely at a phenomenon I call the slow drift. The subtle, almost invisible ways women slowly lose themselves over decades of micro compromises, and exactly how to wake up to your own life again. We will talk about navigating shifting dynamics like empty nesting and finding your purpose when the house goes quiet. We will explore how to set firm, loving boundaries without carrying a mountain of guilt. And we are bringing on incredible guest speakers, women who have stood at this exact midlife crossroads and rebuilt their confidences from the ground up. This season is designed to give you practical, compassionate, well-being advice that you can apply the second you turn off this video or audio. So this season we are going deeper. It's going to be more storytelling, more practical advice, more conversations around emotional well-being, identity, caregiving, relationships. But more than anything, I hope that this podcast continues to be a safe space. If you are listening to this right now and you've been feeling hesitant about taking time for yourself, I want this episode to be your permission slip. You don't have to wait until you are completely depleted to choose yourself. Let's make this season a true community. If you're watching on YouTube, I would love for you to leave a comment below. Share with me, what is one area of your life where you need to hit pause and reflect right now? I read and personally reply to every single comment. If you're listening on Spotify, check out our episode poll and share your thoughts there. And if you're ready to start celebrating your strength and rebuilding your confidence day by day, I invite you to join me in using the Marvelous Moments Journal. I designed this confidence building journal specifically to help women like us celebrate life's beautiful wins, no matter how small. When we are recovering from a long drift, we forget to see our own daily victories. This journal is your daily tool to remember them. The link to order your copy is in the description below. Lastly, if you need a safe, completely confidential space to be heard, validated, and supported without judgment as you navigate your own midlife transitions, you can book a private empathetic listening session with me. The link is in the description below. More than anything, I hope this podcast continues to be a safe space, a place where you feel seen, a place where you feel understood, a place where you are reminded that you don't have to have everything figured out. Because I certainly don't. I'm learning, still growing, still healing, still becoming just like you. And perhaps that is what living marvelously really means. not perfection, not pretending, but choosing to keep growing, choosing to keep showing up, choosing to keep believing that your story isn't over. So wherever you are today, whether you are tired, whether you're starting again, whether you're grieving the woman you used to be or discovering the woman you're becoming, I hope you know this. It's not too late. You have not missed your moment. And there's still something beautiful ahead. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience during my pause. And thank you for embarking on this season of reclamation with me. I'm excited for season 2, and I cannot wait to share what lies ahead. Until next time, take care of yourself. Take care of your heart. And remember, you are still becoming. You are marvelous. You are worthy. And it's time to find your spark. I'll see you in our next episode.